So an interview with the creator of Attack on Titan was recently released in preparation for season 2 of Attack on Titan. He talked about several different things, to be honest with you. A couple of them was mainly just like, his role in the production of season 2, some of the things he looks forward to, some of the characters that season 2 is going to focus on, and some pretty interesting stuff. But I felt as though it was towards the end of that interview where we got kind of a few pieces of information that was a bit of clarification and also something that kind of brings up an interesting discussion. Now, for starters, the biggest thing that I wanted to talk about from what was said in the interview was he talked about the ending of Attack on Titan and what it would kind of feel like or whatever, because again, obviously this dude's been doing it for a long time and he's probably had many different ideas of what he wanted to do. But something that he said that caught my interest, and this is something that's been around for a while. I believe he said it in an interview, if I'm not mistaken, or it was one of those things that's always been a big rumor. But nevertheless, the original ending of Attack on Titan that, was supposedly supposed to happen, he pretty much said in this interview, it was irresponsible. And the rumor for a while, and again, it might have been an interview, it's been a long time, I know I did cover it at some given point, but basically was that he was going to allegedly have everyone in Attack on Titan die. He was going to have a really just fucked up ending, everyone dies, supposedly. And I think that could pretty much be clarification with what he basically said in this interview, that his initial idea was going to be irresponsible. Irresponsible being, everyone fucking dies. Because when people invest into a series, and this is some of the pitfalls that certain series have in general, is the fact that a lot of them, they get a little trigger happy with killing off characters. Now granted, sometimes characters gotta die. It does great things for character development, it does great things to, overall progress the plot, and just does many different things, to better the story. But for example, look at the pitfalls of a series like Akame Got Killed. It started off like, holy shit, this author is holding no punches, he's killing people left and right, and then it got to the point where it was spam heavy, and we're just like, by the end of the series, what the fuck have you done, bro? What did you do? You just killed off like the entire cast of the series. Like, so, an ending like that, I can understand where he's coming from with saying that that's irresponsible, because especially if you're invested in the series, and majority of people, they want somewhat of a happy conclusion for these characters. If you kill off everybody, then it almost feels as though it defeats the purpose of their struggles. I mean, granted, it still could be a great story, and that still could be, depending on how you structure it, a really great twist of an ending, right? But ultimately, it is interesting because, again, afterwards in the interview, he pretty much talks about what it was back then to what it is now. Obviously, again, hinting a little bit more that, well, back then, Attack on Titan, when he had these ideas of how he wanted to end it before it really blew up with season 1 of the anime, it wasn't that popular, so he could have pretty much done whatever the hell he wanted, right? It's like, it's not that popular, it'll probably never go nowhere, so I know what ending I have. But pretty much in the interview, he says, well, what it's like now, he can't do something irresponsible like that. He has to come up with a good ending. Now, good ending could mean many different things. Maybe he just felt as though killing all the characters off isn't a good ending to him. It's too irresponsible, it's not good enough or whatever. So maybe the idea that he has now, I think to a certain degree, it's almost clarifying and confirming that some of the people that we care about, some of these characters are going to make it in the ending. I don't know exactly, especially if you follow the manga, what type of ending we really could have that would just be completely satisfying. But I do think that at the very least, some of the characters are pretty much safe from this point on, because, I mean, especially earlier on in Attack on Titan, we were having a lot of deaths left and right. And mind you, we still have deaths from time to time. It's not like it completely vanished from the series, but he's definitely more selective. He's definitely not as trigger happy, I'd say, as he initially was in the beginning of Attack on Titan compared to what he is now. I think we do get deaths, and I think they're a little bit more meaningful now. And I guess that's the interesting thing about it, that yes, you could argue that the popularity of the series changed his direction and what he wanted to do. He wanted to just seemingly, just everyone fucking died, fuck it, right? But now he's more so selective, and probably, again, maybe some of the main characters, or, just some of the characters that we really care about in general are going to be safe and will have some sort of happy conclusion. But that is interesting in and of itself for discussion, and I kind of wanted to first of all ask you guys, because this is something that I'm pretty interested in. Do you think that killing off all the characters, just having a complete, just everyone dies at the end, is too much of an irresponsible ending? I mean, in many different regards, not just in the fact of like, telling a quality ending, giving a very satisfying conclusion. I just mean in general, as like for the fans, the little ones, the old ones, and stuff like that, that holy shit, maybe they can't handle something like that. Do you think that storytelling should be bound by stuff like that, or maybe be as artistic as you want? If that's really your passion and that's what you're passionate about going with for a conclusion, then fuck it, do it. And do you think that as well, you know, comparing that to Irresponsible, do you think that that's just a bad ending in general to kill off the entire cast of characters? I mean, personally, if he would have done it correctly, and, you know, it would have felt like we still had some sort of conclusion to all of this. Maybe like, you know, we defeated all the Titans, all our enemies are completely gone, but at the cost of everyone dying. Maybe it could have worked out and it wouldn't have felt as unsatisfactory as it kind of sounds in a way. But then at the same time, it's kind of like, I don't want the author to be bound by the popularity of his series of like, well, whoa, can't kill that character. Yo, that character gotta stay because, you know, the popularity. Like, I hope it's more so him thinking of the fandom and, you know, in mind, and as well as kind of just growing from what he initially had in mind of where he wanted to take the story, and realizing that, well, it would be a more interesting twist if instead of killing everybody or killing this character, I have them do this and this reveals that. Like, it is an interesting discussion, and I'm really curious what you guys think about this being an irresponsible ending, so to speak, for everyone to die. There was also another interesting tidbit as well. I just wanted to mention that he said in the interview that he pretty much feels like he accomplished his, you know, purpose in life with Attack on Titan, because let's be honest, there's a lot of authors, not everyone is the Akira Toriyama that has a Doctor Slump and then Dragon Ball right after that, and Attack on Titan has made an incredible impact. It helped so many different things. Like, a lot of people that don't really follow this closely, like myself and, you know, quite a few others, you don't realize how much of an impact Attack on Titan has had, and how many sales and how much it's just helped the manga and anime industry as a whole go up. Like, you know, prior to Attack on Titan, it was in a bit of a slump, and, you know, I've been again following this, so I can clarify and confirm that it was pretty much in a slump up until Attack on Titan came up. American manga sales went up, Japan sales is going up every year, and of course it's not completely and solely due to Attack on Titan. There's several different series that bring in the numbers and all that good stuff, but Attack on Titan is one of the most consistent in Japan at the very least regarding sales. You know, it does every volume at the very least like 1.3, 1.5 million, possibly even 2 million a volume. You know, it really has been established as a global phenomenon, and we haven't seen that in the West at the very least for a really long time, not including the long runners like the Dragon Balls and Naruto's and, you know, things of that nature, Bleach or whatever. It's more so like a Death Note, but I think that this is far beyond, as far as popularity goes, than Death Note even reached, because, you know, like, you go to the cons and you see the cosplayers and shit like that, and they're, you know, dressed as Attack on Titan. So regarding his statement of he feels as though he accomplished his purpose in life, I could totally see that. And I mean, that's crazy, because the dude, if you look at the interview, which I'll link it in the description below, he's young as hell. He probably looks like he's only maybe a couple of years older than me, if that. Like, dude has his life set for the rest of it. But to be quite honest with you guys, after Attack on Titan ends, I'm totally fine and ready for whatever series. If he decides to make another one after Attack on Titan, I will totally check it out, because Attack on Titan, whatever you want to say about it, at the end of the day, the twists, the turns, the cool characters, you could argue some of them a little bit one-dimensional and quirky, but nevertheless, like, just everything about it has such a really awesome cool factor, and a lot of it is due to his writing. I mean, you know, you check out the manga of Attack on Titan, especially early on, the art wasn't all that to really wow you or anything like that. It was a story, it was a setup. He had a great concept, and he used it and utilized it to its maximum potential, and look what it became. So really cool stuff there. And again, I'll have the full interview in the description below so you can check it out. But definitely, again, kind of curious, big question right now. Do you think that is an irresponsible, or just overall maybe a bad ending to kill off the entire cast of characters by the end of a series? And does it make you a little bit disappointed that we pretty much, I mean, throughout the years we've heard different things, different interviews and stuff like that, that pretty much Isayama changed the ending of Attack on Titan to something maybe a little bit more, not necessarily happier, but less gruesome and less, you know, just disgustingly sad ending? Or you're totally fine with where he's going, and maybe it may shape the ending of Attack on Titan to something a lot greater than just a fucking all-out blood fest where everybody that you cared about is fucking dead. Again, look at Akame got killed. People like the concept of characters dying left and right and no fucks given, but by the end of that shit, everybody was like, whoa, a comic got chill, bro. And your overall thoughts of all this? Really interesting interview, and I'm glad to see the creator really stepping, you know. It's a rarity with a lot of these creators because they're very shy, they're very reserved, they don't like their image out there. I mean, the most popular manga creator, Eiichiro Oda, did an interview recently where you could only see his back. He didn't want to show his face. So the fact that this man got on camera, a little shy, you could tell, whatever, but like, props to him. And yeah, salute. Attack on Titan still doing great things, and Season 2 is almost here, baby. We're about to have some great times ahead of us. But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and stalk my Facebook to get more when the video ends. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.